What's good, everybody? Thank you again for another 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 free game. My apologies for being a couple minutes late. I was trying to find somewhere to park, and I think everybody knows it gets difficult around here. Um, Cameras facing here. Online is where? Online is over there. So you got it on question. I'm so used to looking over there. I don't. Um, Show of hands if this everybody's first free game session. All right, so not that many free game sessions. So free game is a platform. What up, Raven? Free game is a platform for us all to learn together. It's a bit of therapy for me. Y'all are my psychiatrist, and I think my experience in the industry in the last almost 20 years has given me a breadth of experience and knowledge and education that I feel is helpful to just give back into others and help them learn. Learn through our journey, my journey, our team's journey, and everything that we're currently doing and things that we've done in the past. Today, I felt like it was important to talk about entitlements. Um, and the subject's interesting because my age starts to show. Like I don't I don't I think I don't know what it feels like, but then I think like, well, I had to be a little bit entitled at some point, or not really understand the process the way I understand it at some point. Because for the last I guess since I was 24, I've been sitting in this seat, not in front of all of y'all. I started this business when I was 24 years old, which feels like yesterday. And I felt coming into the business, and I still feel like this today. Do we have to take everything? Like nobody's giving us anything. Like I honestly feel like in all of our relationships, our team, Cav sent me a text the other day, and I was asking him for information, and he sent me a file. I think it was yesterday. And I text him back like, yo, can you please make this so it's beneficial for the receiver? Like, so always thinking about how to make the work easier for the next person, because just to be honest, like coming from where we come from, or coming from where I come from, the deck is stacked against me. So I'm looking at every way that somebody can possibly tell me no, right? And I think, and I'm not going to indict age groups because I don't think that's fair. But there's this idea floating around that there's an expectation for things to happen based on your circumstances, your situation, what you're supposed to have. I think the greatest level of, I think the best example of entitlement is from parents to children. Because I always say my kids have an expectation uh, for me to do certain things. And I recently seen a clip from a Denzel Washington movie, but I can't remember what it was. But it was Pittsburgh inspired, and he was saying to his son that uh, you don't have to feel like I like you, right? And I said to my kids all the time, it's not my responsibility to make you happy. It's my responsibility to take care of you. It's my responsibility to prepare you. It's my responsibility um, to make sure that you're prepared for the world. And sometimes that doesn't necessarily feel like love. But my kids' expectation is for me to provide them whatever it is they want, when they want it, how they want it, right? And and somehow, some way, um, it's beginning to roll its way into our culture, and in a way that makes me feel like we need to have this conversation. Does that make sense? Um, I'm gonna jump around a bit because I got a lot I want to say, and then I'm gonna leave space for everybody else to talk about it too. And then I'm going to say something. I think I got one white face in the room, so I'm not picking on you. Does that make sense? And I don't want you to feel like I'm picking on you, right? Uh, do y'all even still check the box? I don't know no more, man. I think y'all are like in the other category now. Um, but I'm going to say something that may get a headline, right? I'm going to say something that people talk about on the internet a lot. Mark might look at me crazy when I say it, and I'm gonna say it. Y'all ready? I want to buy it. I want to buy it. I'm about to say two words that everybody think is bad words. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're bad words, but I'm going to say them. Jewish people, right? I'm gonna say everything that I love about Jewish people, and it's all things that I love. That community does such an incredible job of standing up for one another that when you don't stand up for it, you look kind of crazy, right or wrong, right or wrong, right? And this isn't about comparing the black community to the Jewish community, right? It's about the work that that community has done to stand itself up that way. Does that make sense? And it's about the when I got a Jewish homie Ari that I had to ask him a while ago. You know how when everything was happening with George Floyd, you got all the calls from your white friends, and they was asking you, all the white guilt was coming out, and they was asking you questions. I had to call Ari. That's my Jewish man, right? I had to call Ari. I wasn't feeling no guilt. I just wanted to say what I was thinking and make sure that I wouldn't get canceled for saying what I was thinking, right? But I was thinking that I'm not a jealous person, not an envious person, but I admire what the Jewish community has. And I want what the Jewish community has for the black community. Does that make sense? Fair? I'm gonna stop right there, and then I'm gonna pivot back to the entitlement part. There is an expectation from me, right? When I get up every day, that nobody's giving us nothing, right? Like I don't expect the lights to come on. We got to pay our bills, right? Our team has to show up, but guess what? That's a transaction too, right? And one of my favorite phrases is, "Fair exchange isn't a robbery," right? Shanae? OJ. Fair exchange, right? Exchange, right? That costs something, right? So I get that something, that's a fair exchange, right? When we exchange time, right? When you exchange time for money, all of our time costs something, right? If you make $3 an hour, what does that mean your hour cost? You make $10 an hour, what that mean your hour cost? How do you make your price go up? What'd you say? No, 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 no. This is where we come to learn about entitlement, right? You make the price go up by having more capacity in your hour. Does that make sense? In your hour, plus what's your name? Demar, OJ. If you can do 10 units of quantity in your hour, and I'm paying you $3, and she could do 50 units in her hour, who's the more valuable person? Right? Do you think she should still be making the same three? She's obviously gonna make more, right? Now, fair is, I'm gonna pick on the white person. I'm gonna pick on Kev is not white, he's Taiwanese. I'm gonna pick on Kev, right? OJ's now making, how much you making for your 50 units hour now, OJ? She's making $12 an hour for her 50 units hour. I'm gonna say two things, right? So we balance it all and we understand. Because now, what's your name again? Demar mad at me now. Because he's still making $3. OJ's now making 12. Demar want to kill me now, right? Because Demar feel like he should be getting what OJ get. But what's the difference between what Demar and OJ got? Right? Now, if Kev is getting paid 20 times more for that same 12 units, we got a problem, right? As long as we ain't talking about that, we ain't got no problem. My problem with culture these days is there's an expectation for people to not understand that you got to outwork your current pay to get to your next pay. Does that make sense? This business started with me and nobody. Me coming in this joint, if OJ came in and she ain't wash her feet, I needed to give OJ some socks, sweaty feet and all, put her shoes on. Whoever, however, whatever, right? I had to give her the best possible experience until more people wanted to come in, because if OJ don't spend money, how am I going to pay the lights? Does it make sense? That was 20 years ago, one door, right? 20 years later, X amount more, right? The idea that you're supposed to get more just because is flawed fucking thinking, right? Especially for us. Don't nobody owe us shit, right? There's no expectation for your teacher. What grade you in? 10, right? If your teacher come in a bad mood, right? Right? Your job is to still learn, right? She come in a good mood. Your job is to what? And approach it so you can get the most information you can from her, right? If the teacher is coming in and doing nothing, then it's on her. But the rest of it's on who? Is that fair? Hell no. Yo, the thing that's tough is this idea of social equality that's happening right now. And we working to cure systemic racism, and white privilege is a thing, and America's fucked up for black people. And I'm gonna say all the things. Worse for black women, worse for, right? Guess what? Today at 7:15, nobody cares. Does that make sense? If everybody who's here in this room and online, if you're not individually doing the work to make your unit go up from 3 units to 10 units, every hour of your day, you're not helping. You're hindering us. Does that make sense? All of us. Like, yo, what we do as a company and what I do as a human, honestly, it has everything to do with y'all, and it has nothing to do with y'all at the same time. Bit of a riddle. I understand that regardless of who's showing up in this room and why I'm showing up in this room, because if I'm not coming to do as much as I can with every hour of my lifetime, ain't nothing gonna be better, right? And everybody in the room wants something, right? What's something you want? What you want? The big thing too. Don't give me the small thing. A tattoo studio. Ain't no motherfucker giving you that, right? You ain't going to dream it up. You ain't walking into no bank. They ain't buying your idea. The investor dude online ain't giving it to you. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Do you know how to do tattoos? How you gonna make it happen yourself? How are you personally holding yourself accountable for everything that you want to do with every moment of your day? Every second. I count for every second of my life. Literally all of them. It's a bit insane. I said to somebody today, everybody in this room, if you have a conversation with me, regardless if you think I'm in tune to the conversation or not, I'm paying attention to your interaction, what it means and why. And I'm thinking about it that fast. And where to put it, and where to process it, and where to fold it, and who to connect you with. And if you've spent time with me and asked me for something, I'll say, hold on, don't move. Let me put you with this person before I, right? Or hold on, let's try to solve this now so I. Does that make sense? Because everything is about me holding me accountable, because if I'm not accountable to me, fuck y'all think about me for? That means I'm nothing for none of y'all. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna stop because I said a lot, needed to calm down, make sure there ain't no questions, and then I'm gonna keep going. G, I'm looking. Okay, anything, anybody here? On the which one? The before. It's on the perspective before I. Man, I'm shot. Welcome to my life. What'd you say? So well, a lot of that is me understanding what I just done. It's also, if you've talked to me late, Kamaya or Kev or Mark or Tanisha or people who are close to me, I'll say all the time, like, yo, I'm gonna sit here and catch up with my thoughts. That's a real thing, right? Because if I don't, I can't have the capacity that I'm telling y'all that y'all need to be successful. I'm keeping it funky with y'all. Like, there ain't no magic wand. I'm not no genius. I'm not smarter. I ain't got no more money than none of y'all when I started. There's no secret recipe or no secret sauce. Just most people don't have the capacity or mental capability or discipline to outwork me. Does that make sense? Minute for minute, I'll bet myself against most people in the world. Does that make sense? And do I think there's other people that's like me? Yes, because this is a science that's pretty easy to figure out. Does that make sense? Like, yo, what you truly invest in with your time, you get out. And the idea, and again, people ain't gonna like this conversation, so I'm not shocked that it's not a lot of questions, because shoes, cars, girls, businesses, hype, selfies, likes, all that shit that y'all give a fuck about. Oh, maybe y'all don't. That's me judgmental. Very judgmental. People, the whole Instagram, the whole shit, most of it, 85% of it, 85% of Twitter, gives a fuck about. It don't mean nothing. The person who runs the race and accounts for every second as they run the race. I am a product of accounting for every second that I run the race. Every moment, every second. I've said it to Kamaya. She maybe hates when I say it, and I'll out her for saying it. You got to get so busy. You know what happens when someone works with you, what you call a teammate? And when you have a company and you start bringing a team on, what are you doing with their time? You're buying it. You're buying their time. When you say you want to work with a company in a role, what's your name? Amir says, hey, I want to be the buyer, right? That's dope, Amir. How much money you want to be the buyer? 200,000? You ain't gonna work for us. But let's just hypothetically say you got that, right? You just sold me your time for $200,000. Now what? What else you want? You want 7 days? How many days off you want a year? You want 10 days off. What else you want? Sick days? Right? How many sick days you want? What'd you say? Three? I'm gonna give you 10. What else you want? Help them out if y'all want to. Healthcare, 401k. What else? Say all the things. What else? Hold on, say all the things. I'm talking to all y'all. I'm talking to all y'all. What y'all want? Your health insurance? What else y'all want? Company car. You got that. A discount. You got that. What else you want? Now this is a solid job. Let's say this back to y'all. You now getting paid $200,000 a year. You got a company car, discounts, right? An expense account, 401k. It's a dream job, right? Now what do I get? Tell me what I'm supposed to get. Now pause. Pause. Remember who you signed up to work with. Who did I just tell y'all I was? Say it louder. Every minute, every second count. You allowed to complain? Are you? You free. Speech is free. I'm trying not to cuss. Somebody told me I need to learn not to cuss. So I'm working on it. One of my good homeboys, I'm working. I'm going to try not to cuss this whole session. It's hard, though. Okay, again, where was we at? You just said something to me, man. Good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're allowed to complain, but what is it that we're supposed to get now? How much? How much time we get? How much? We supposed to get 40 hours a week now. Now let's stop right there. Let's stop. That, my friend, is entitlement. Doesn't? Oh, this conversation just got interesting. If I want more time, the price goes up. How much output am I getting from you in my 40 hours? Pause. You getting far? Because now you talking about taking the 200,000 that you work in 8 hours for, because you don't want to work that hard because we only paid you for 8 hours a day, right? But we didn't. We got to get back to the question: how much output do we get for that 8 hours? That's a very good question. You know what that means? So the first thing we got to do is define the output, right? For the job. So let's go back. 10 units output a day, right? 10 units output a day. We making up what it takes to get 10 units output a day, right? What happens if you're not consistently giving us 10 units output? Okay, so hold on. I'm going to let us because I'm gonna keep progressing. I'm gonna keep progressing the conversation. Newsflash: for the people in the room who make more than 200K, right? And having conversations with other people who make 200K, I don't know anyone that makes 200K. So I'm being fair here, and we're talking about entitlements. You want to finish the sentence for me? Let me help people understand. Let's go back to Instagram because the conversation got to where we wanted to. Y'all like that 200K, don't y'all? Let's talk about that a little more. That 200K, what you drive when you got that? Tesla? What else? What your girl look like? What your girl look like with that? 200K, what your girl look like? What your girl hitting for? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got the effect I was looking for. I got the laugh. I was looking for the laugh, right? A 200K, that buys you an ideal life though, right? Right? In Charlotte, right? And there's this expectation that you're supposed to do a X amount of work to get X amount of job and then coast, right? And we all get to say what it is that we want in the world, right? To your point, say it again. You said it earlier. You said it earlier, and it's very important. Money is not the end all be all. No, it's not. You said something else that's very important. You said something about not being in a rat. I'm using my words, not being in a rat race. Expand on that a little bit. I agree with everything. Everybody here? Everybody understand it? I've asked y'all a series of questions. Show of hands. Um, who all wants to drive a 10-year-old car? Show of hands. Not not to old school, not to old school. Who all wants who wants to drive? Let me say, who wants to drive a car that got 150,000 miles on it? The bad ones, not the ones because the ones that your rotors is going and it squeal and squeak. And when you pull up, you park so far away. Who want that car? Anybody want to live in a shitty house? Right? That's true. That's another way of thinking about it. But I'm talking about the bad shitty though. Right? None of us are signing up for that, right? So there's a cost, right? There's a baseline cost for happiness. There's a really good book called The Psychology of Money. I recommend everybody in the world read it. What'd you say? Incredible book. There's a baseline that we all need to be happy. I'm in agreement with you. The thing that I've learned about progressing in life is money don't buy happiness. We all have to create our own happiness. But that pretty chain that young lady's wearing with that nice jacket, how it's layered with the purse, and then with the fur thing, and then the bun, that wasn't free, right? Everything has a cost, and all of our lifestyles cost something, right? Right? Is everyone willing to work to the cost of the life that they say they want to live? Right? Really though? Oh, talk. This open conversation. Y'all, if pop, you think I wanted to smell OJ's feet? I didn't want to smell OJ's feet. I wanted to run Flavor Factory though, right? Then what? But that's perfect. Let's stay here. This is perfect because this is where it comes in. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that situation. You're the best player in the country. It's happened. Best high school player in the country, and you bomb in college. Everybody think you go into the league. You don't go to the league, right? Is it on? Who's that on? No. Let's make it other way. Shitty coach. Coach done them wrong. We all know the coach done them wrong. Played out in the media. Everybody's seen it. He transferred around, tried to make it, tore ACL, then an MCL, then blew his Achilles. All before being paid. Whose fault is that, though? So now what? So we now talking about a person. Perception that perception says that person was destined to be a multi-million-dollar player, and he's not, or she's not. Now what? But you got $1 million plan. You got $1 million friends. How? Check, right? So that person's not supposed to blame nobody, right? Supposed to look in the mirror and blame who? Right? Because they're responsible for who? Is that what we really feel like we see every day? No, let her finish. All right, so let's pause. I'm gonna ask y'all a different question, mother. Mess y'all up. Did any of y'all ask to be black? You seen it coming, didn't you? You seen it coming, didn't you? Did you ask to be born into systemic inequality? No. Right? But that's just life. Ain't that what you said? You just got to deal with it, right? Is that right? How? Whoa! She just said that's life. And listen. There's a balance to this conversation, right? The balance is saying this. He said it earlier. Everybody starts saying it. We got to do what it is we're supposed to do to push ourselves forward. It's on us. Everything that happens in the world is my fault. Anything that happens to me is my fault. What's your name again? Come here, Noah. Smack me. My fault. That's all you got? Smack me again. Harder. My fault. My fault. Smack me. Harder. It's all right. Listen, you sit back now. There's certain things that obviously it's not that cut and dry that you could tell somebody to come smack you, right? As black folks, we don't get the same privilege to just walk around the world and let things happen to us, right? If we don't set out into the world with a level of intentionality to be better for us first in all of your time, right? And dedicate every moment you got to being better, there can't be an expectation for somebody to want to do it for you. As a white person, he can't walk out in this world and expect nobody to give him anything. Although, be a little easier than it is for us, right? And in some places in the country, a lot easier. And in this room, maybe a little more difficult, right? Because he's the minority in this room, right? But he still needs to adapt to the circumstances and put in the work, right? I go back to the same question I asked y'all earlier. Is that what y'all see every day? Who said that? Talk to me about it.
Playing with it, whether they want to do it, whether they complain about it, whether they want to do it, at the end of the day, they adjust and adapt and live within their circumstances. If people have the drive and the will to adjust their circumstances to better them or to make themselves more happy, that's an entirely different thing.
All right, now I'm in this conversation with you. What's your name?
Hakeem.
Akeem. Now take your circumstances to work.
What do you mean?
Okay, because we're advancing. You got to live in your circumstances, right?
Yes,
Are you an employee or are you a business owner?
both.
Which one do you want to talk about? We can pick.
Employee.
Employee. Now take your circumstances to work, and we just entered a contract.